Hello there and welcome to this week's vlog. Now what got me thinking this week, and I want to share just a few thoughts with you, is a meeting I had earlier in the week where five of us got together really to encourage one another, to support one another, to share how things are going, to pray for each other. And we had a really useful and helpful time. One of the things that we did as part of that gathering, as we drew to a close of our time together, was just for each of us to go around and share if there's particular things on our hearts that we would value prayer from our friends. And we each did that. And one of our number said that since he lost his wife, I think maybe a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, the thing he's found really, really tough is when he's been out and about doing things and he gets home, he goes into a completely empty house. In other words, there's nobody to greet him, nobody with whom he can share his thoughts, his experiences of the day. And he said, I find that really hard, really tough, and I feel so alone. So in that moment, loneliness. I'm all right when I'm out and about with people doing things, but when I get back home and there's nobody there, I just feel so lonely. Now the others of us in the room are all married, so we can't say, it's no good saying I understand how you feel, because we just don't. We've not experienced that. But I guess that's one of the costs of love, isn't it? That if you're in love with a person, you're married to a person, sooner or later, one of you is not going to be there, and the other is left with, I guess, that intense feeling of loneliness. Certainly our friend, found that really tough. Of course, loneliness is not anything new, is it? All those years ago, the Beatles sang that song, "All Those Lonely People, Where Do They All Come From?" And it's been said and reported in the media that we're living in what we might call an epidemic of loneliness. There are so many lonely people. In fact, there was a report in the newspaper a little while ago saying that the World Health Organization were launching an international commission on loneliness, which is said to be as bad for people's health as smoking 12 cigarettes a day. I don't know how they came to that, but certainly loneliness is not helpful in any way to a person, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I remember, as I was thinking, as our friend shared about his experience of loneliness and isolation when he got home and there's nobody there, I remember many years ago now, I was at my dad's funeral, and one of the hymns that we sang on that occasion was the hymn "Great is Thy Faithfulness," a wonderful old hymn. But there's a line in there that says, "All I have needed, Thy hand has provided." Now, I couldn't sing any of the hymns because I was so emotional, but as I was thinking about that line, I just said to God, that I can't sing that. That's not true. All I have needed, Thy hand has provided, because I haven't got my father. My father's not here anymore. And I just felt as if God was saying, but I am your heavenly Father, and I will always be here for you. And that's God's promise, isn't it? That he will be here for us. That though he's not here as a husband or wife, maybe a physical human being, he's still here with us, and his presence can be as real. And let me just finish, because I was reading earlier today a piece from someone I follow on Facebook called Sally McClung. Sally lives now in South Africa. She's had health problems for a number of years. She was diagnosed with cancer and has been through lots of treatment. She's still going through various health issues, and she often struggles. Her husband, Floyd, a wonderful man who I met many years ago, was struck down with an illness that meant he was almost paralysed. He couldn't communicate, and he was in a hospital bed, I think, for 3 or 4 years. And so Sally had to cope with that too, and then he died, and so she's on her own. But her faith is absolutely amazing, even though she still has so many issues to deal with. Let me just read to you a little bit from what she put on Facebook today. Last night I got hit with a tummy bug. I was incredibly sick for a couple of hours. A couple of times I thought I would pass out. I was alone. And I just kept calling out to the Lord to help me. I truly felt his presence with me. I'm so grateful for his protection and help. I'm fine now, just weak and sore. I couldn't make it through the storms, the sickness, or anything else without the Lord. He is so faithful. Isn't that just amazing? From a lady who's suffered so much, lost her husband of many years who she loved dearly, now living on her own and coping with ill health issues, and yet her faith is so strong. She's assured. She gives testimony there of God's presence with her in the midst of that dark night. And she finishes with a verse from Hebrews chapter 13 where God promises, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. So, that's just a wonderful promise. Yes, we might be at times feeling alone, isolated, lonely. But let's never forget that God has promised, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. That's a promise we can hang on to and know that it is true. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.